Welcome to the Small Scale Life podcast, where we explore simple living, growing food, wellness, and finding purpose in the rhythm and nature of everyday life. I'm your host, Tom, a gardener, homesteader, river dweller, storyteller, and a professional wanderer, inviting you to slow down, learn something new, and enjoy the journey toward a healthier, more intentional life. Here on Small Scale Life, we believe in taking small steps towards big dreams. Whether you're tending a backyard garden, starting a homestead project, building better habitats, or just trying to simplify the chaos, this podcast is your companion along the way. So grab a cup of coffee or a drinky drink, settle in, and let's grow together. One small step, one small story, and one small scale change at a time. Learn, do, grow, be a little better every day. Look at this. I'm a little rusty, but I'm getting back into it. So yeah, I did a show on Wednesday just talking about a few things and getting back into it. It was kind of nice to break the rust off. I stopped the Small Scale Life podcast back in early March. And now just with everything happening and kind of where we are in life, I felt that the winds of change were happening and it's time to get back on the show. So I'm glad you're here. Man, it was wild. Did you see it? Did you see what was going on last night? I'm going to pull up something here. And, we had a great visitor here to the landing. I mean, she's fabulous and she sparkles and dances across the sky. It was amazing. So let's pull a few images up here. So when I first went outside, I'm going to pull this up here. When we first went outside, it kind of looked like that yesterday. And, what this is, of course, the Northern Lights. We had a beautiful light show. I have been watching the Northern Lights for a few years now, and usually they're kind of, they're okay. But last night, it was something. Now, I was really upset because there was a massive solar storm. The lights were going to be incredible, and we had clouds. And this is what I could see. I mean, okay, I can see something across there. There's just a break in the clouds, and I was pretty disappointed. That's not so good. We need to see more stuff, right? So I actually took a couple photos. It did get a little better as let's see. Here we go. Let's see. I'm trying to share the screen here. Actually, we're going to cancel that. We're just going to bring up some photos as we go. So that was kind of where we started. And then I noticed up by our shed on what I call Oriole Hill, I noticed that there was some different colors up there. There were some more breaks in the cloud. And this is what it started looking like up there. You could see the reds and the greens. They were pushing through the clouds. And I was like, whoa, this is awesome. This is really cool. It's really sweet. And I walked up there and some more clouds were clearing out. And it kind of broke through and looked more like this. So I really thought this was awesome because you got the reds and the greens and some oranges in there. And it almost looked like leaves on this tree, which was super cool. And I thought, oh, this is awesome. This is great. And I went inside and I was doing some things. And then a little bit later, I was like, come on, it has to be better. The clouds were moving. It has to be getting better. And sure enough, I went back out there and it started to do this. Pretty crazy. I mean, this is awesome. This is looking straight east. The Northern Lights were in Orion's belt. So Orion's belt is right here. This constellation Orion was right there. And it's just the cascading greens and yellows and oranges and reds. I mean, it was, wow, that is so cool. And this red streak just started in a little bit just down by those trees. And eventually it got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I thought I'd moved. And here's the progression. This is a little better. I mean, just a magnificent, same area. That red streak is getting even better. And I knew Jules had gone to bed and And I didn't want to wake her up, but it got to the point where I had to wake her up because it was so vibrant, so awesome. I'm just where did I shove those pictures? Did I lose those pictures? No, I think I did. What? I mean, it was stunning. It was stunning. It was amazing. Oh my gosh. My photos got blown up. How is this possible? Oh no. But it was amazing. It was amazing. And I'll put a video together. I actually took some video. It was that bright where I could get some video of the red in the sky. And actually what I can do is I'll go to a different spot and actually share the screen. But it was magnificent. I mean, I have never in all my days, I've seen different northern lights and I've never seen anything like that before. So let me just change something here. I hate to do this, but this is what we're going to do. This is what we have to do today. Oh yeah, right here. I mean, I'm going to share the screen with y'all. Share the screen. And if you're here, make sure you check in, okay? Say hello. It's always great to see you. So this is what I woke Jules up for. I mean, this is on her Facebook feed, but oh my Lanta. Let's get back here. Oh, we'll start with the tree. I mean, it just blew, the whole sky blew up. It blew up in greens. It blew up in reds. I mean, this is looking to the north now, and you can just see that strong band of green. And that red band had just exploded in the sky, and just amazing. Again, here's Orion's belt. Here's Orion, and you have Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat, right? That's nothing compared to this. I mean, this was amazing, and it just kept going and getting better and better and better. I mean, just amazing. And there's so many photos. I mean, these are her photos. I have a lot on my phone, and I was trying to pull them off, and my phone crashed. But yeah, so this was like right over our heads, right over our house is this like gateway up to the heavens, right? Gateway up to where the gods are. It was amazing, and it just is like this explosion of colors, and it's so beautiful, so beautiful. The whole sky was on fire. This is off our deck looking to the east again, where that streak had started. So it was something, it was something amazing. And to see the yellows in there, I mean, I'd never seen the yellows in the aurora, the northern lights before, but man, it was there. Every color, just so cool. So cool. So, this is all kind of connected to change, right? I mean, this was a massive solar storm. This was a massive change, and probably the biggest storm in 20 to 30 years, they were saying. So, quite stunning, and it just makes you think and appreciate, that there are things bigger and more powerful than us, for sure, and that it can change everything in the whole sky. So, in fact, just literally got a notice. Probably can't read that. Oop, talk on it. So Northern Lights are tooling up again. And tonight, we're going to try to keep this podcast tight, because tonight the storms are even going to be greater. It could be bigger and more vibrant than last night. So that's the Aurora app. Download it. It's free. It tracks all the Northern Light activities. And that's how I've been able to see it. And I'm just looking back at this year. It's been a lot of solar activity. And not to belabor the point, but we've had Northern Lights here where we live. We had it in September. We had it actually March, and we had it a couple times in September. We had it a couple times in early November too, on the 5th of November. And just to give you a flavor of the difference, I'll share this file with you. So this was from back in earlier November. Still cool. I mean, you can still the greens and the reds. I mean, sometimes you don't get right. Sometimes you don't get that. In fact, a lot of times you don't. And, a lot of times it's more like that previous one, or let's see, this was back in, yes, this was back in September. It looks like this. You get a nice band of green there, but it's not that, right? And let's see, what else can we have here? A little further back, say, what did it look like in March? Yeah, it was just it was different. We had some columning going on. And yeah, you could see there's some bands of red and some greens there. So yeah, we've been enjoying the Northern Lights, and it's a lot different than where we were in the Driftless a couple of years ago. That was really one of the first places I saw the Northern Lights was back there, and we had a great show. It was a great bunch of lights. Nope, not that one. I'm just going to take you back to here we go. I mean, it was pretty good, though. When we were down in Maiden Rock, which is an hour away from here, and it was just something like this. So it was a really good night then as well. This was back at our little farm in Maiden Rock, and that's part of this discussion here. Part of this discussion here is bringing this back together. Here is letting go and our little farm, that was a dream of mine, not of Jules. I mean, she was along for the ride. She thought it was going to be really cool. We thought it was going to be a lot different than it was. And I had a chance to go down to the little farm this week and go and get into the Driftless again. And man, that area just speaks to me. Something about the old soil, the old dirt. It's just magic down there. And, I can't believe I lived in it for a couple of years. We were right on the Mississippi with these massive bluffs and the coulees, the valleys, the rivers there. The trees are just fabulous. You just feel the energy there, This was down in Bay City, Minnesota or Wisconsin, sorry, and just these old bur oaks right there on the shore and on our property too. It was a place that I really connected to, and that wasn't the place for us. We had to move on. As Julie once said, she was slowly losing her shit there, and we'll get back to why that's important for other parts of the story too. But even as beautiful it was, the little farm wasn't quite what we needed, wasn't what we thought. We had built. I had built this up in my mind that this place was going to be a place where we could stake the flag, put the flag down, and this was going to be the end all. We were going to do all of the homesteading things there, right? And it just didn't turn out that way. And we also found out that some of that stuff, I mean, it was a dream for that particular time, but as we moved along, it wasn't what we thought, and we had to move on. A lot of other things happened. Here, I'll give you a flavor of the little farm. So this was back in 2023. We were we had 10 acres. We had a nice little farm with 10 acres. Of course, none of it was level. I mean, not only the house, but the property wasn't level either. We were kind of on a slope down into a gully. We had some outbuildings. We had a chicken coop, which was very cool. It's kind of what we wanted, but we had this little blue barn, which was kind of the centerpiece. But Jules made a good point about the centerpiece. About this blue barn is it looks really cute and it made for awesome pictures. I mean, I had so many good pictures there, but it was just a shell. Right. The inside was empty. There was nothing in there. There was Icelandic sheep in there, and they're the previous owner. And then when we got it, there was nothing except it stored some gear and equipment and a four-wheeler. It really didn't have anything to it. And yes, the land is beautiful. And yes, connected to it. And yes, we cleared a lot of vegetation. We cleared a lot of weeds. We did a lot of work on the landscaping. But the house, this little farmhouse, was never going to be what we needed it to be. We wanted a place for people to come and gather. It was going to be a hub of operations where everybody could come and hang out. And we're so far away from the Twin Cities, like a good hour and 15, 20 minutes, that people probably had to stay overnight. But it was only a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. And there was no way. We brought contractors in. We all looked at it. Is there a way we can do something a little different? And there just wasn't. So it was time to let it go. And that's what we did. Now, connecting that to small scale life, don't know if you've noticed, but we've had some changes to small scale life. And I have to say, in a way, small scale life has been a project. We had our anniversary on the October 15th, October 19th. And that's when I started it. I went down to Chicago and to accept my new job as an inspector, federal inspector. And I started this project then. And we've been going for 10 years. And there's been starts and stops. There's been things that happened where I just needed to step away for a bit and take a break. And also during the course of that time, we have been all over the board. We've talked about, we started with gardening and fitness. And then we got into adventures, like going on trips and stuff, because that was my life, essentially. I was going on these little trips. Then we got into homesteading, right? I connected with homesteaders like Greg Burns and market gardeners like Drew Sample and Dallas Half Acre Farms, Michael Bell down there, and some other people. I talked to beekeepers, right? Michael Jordan, the Michael Jordan, not the basketball player, but the beekeeper extraordinaire, and some other smaller beekeepers. And then Greg Burns, the homesteading side. Greg Burns, Mr. Tactical J now he's in Alaska. And we were talking a lot about homesteading and dreaming about this little farm, right? And we poured a lot of energy into it. And we bought, there we go. Awesome. Good evening from rural Minnesota. Absolutely. Well, good evening from rural Wisconsin, or small town Wisconsin, shall we say. So I'll leave that up there. That's pretty cool. So we poured all of this into homesteading, and then Jules got in, and we were doing homesteading, gardening, and minimalism and budgeting. I mean, we were in the process of combining like 3 households into one small house in North Minneapolis. We were all over the place. And then we swerved back into gardening and budgeting and cutting debt and cutting weight. And we did the New You project, right? Where we were exercising and eating better and all that stuff. And man, we've been all over the place. And then we swung back in with small business. Before Adam and I did the Adam and Tom show here, part of Small Scale Life Podcast, I was interviewing some small business folks like Red Dragon Herbs and Teas in Iowa, or Northfield Area Driving School Chris down in Northfield. And we always had gardening in the background and homesteading in the background, and it's exhausting. It was all over the place. It was kind of like, maybe it wasn't an empty shell. Maybe it was like a hoarder house, right? We had all these topics jammed in it, and I didn't know what the heck I was doing, right? Am I doing homesteading today, or am I doing gardening today? Are we doing, swim challenge? What the hell are we even doing? So it kind of came to a head in February, March, with everything, with my job and what I do, and some of the pressures and stresses and potential changes that were threatened then, that I just had to stop. And probably that was one of the best things that I could have done, is just stop the madness. I had to stop and really think about it. And, I had to think about what I was doing, what I wanted to do, where we're going, and what I want to talk about. Right. And it is nothing against any of the guests. It's nothing against Adam's brother from another mother. I love that guy. Can't wait to have him back on the show. He is just going a mile a minute and doing some really cool stuff at Modern Frontier Farms and his farm store and the Dousman Winter Farmers Market. I mean, dang it. I wish I lived close to him. We would be like a force to be reckoned with. But I just had to stop. I just had to stop and think about it. And I said this on Saturday, and I'll say it again. I really didn't think that I was going to do another podcast. I didn't think I was going to do another show with Small Scale Life. I thought it was dead. I thought it was done, and I just needed to retool. So fast forward, and there's been a lot of things happening. The other thing that I started was a small business, right? Because why not? Let's do that, right? And I was just going to bring that up here, but I started a small business, and that's been a real learning experience. So all the things that Adam and I were talking about on the show, suddenly I'm going to have to deal with that. I'm going to have to learn some of that stuff, right? Let's see. I want to go to my place. Let's see. Just going to pull it up here. So I learned a few things along the way. Learned how to make interesting things out of birdseed. So let me share this with you. We'll get back to Small Scale Life in a minute, but we'll bring up this guy. Is it not up there? Where is it? Sorry. I see. I'm seeing what StreamYard will let you do. I'm just pulling up the website here for all of you following along on the podcast. So we have a website, right? We have products. So Tommy Cakes Birdseed LLC, Tommy Cakes Seed LLC is the actual name of it. This is my project that I was working on. I started it in November, December, and just, part of our story is I started watching the birds and feeding the birds. So even at the little farm, you just started feeding the birds, and there was I built a bird feeder. We had Oriole feeders, we had jelly feeders, and hummingbird feeders, and I just really liked feeding the birds. And after our son Danny died, sometimes all we could do was sit on the back deck and watch the birds and watch them eat and interact with each other and kind of laugh at the hummingbirds fighting with each other and flying right by our faces. There was one hummingbird. My brother was, this was after the funeral. He was there and pontificating about Facebook and people he hadn't seen for years, and they wanted to be his friend and blah, 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 blah. And this little hummingbird's coming closer and closer and closer. I'm sitting there just watching this, and he's got his back to the feeders, but this hummingbird is coming closer and closer and closer, and just zip, gets him right in the butt. Like thought it was, he's wearing jeans, but thought this thing was a big flower or something, and got him in the butt. And I just was laughing. And it just kind of changed that whole story and the bad energy he was putting out. And maybe we always said, I think that was Danny just saying, hey, Uncle Andy, cool it. Just relax, man. And it was just, ever since then, it's like, ever since the farm, it's been, feed the birds. Let's feed the birds. And I dove into it hard here. I created a business doing it, right? So this is my little business, Tommy Cakes Birdseed, and I make suet and seed cakes. So these are the ones on the right here in the foreground. That is a suet cake, and the one in the background, that's a seed cake. And I make seed cylinders, and there again, suet on the right, seed cake on the left, and just make it out of really good ingredients, great stuff that the birds just love. And the donut stackers, those are great. I'll show you what those look like in a second. And then set up a shop. And that's kind of what I've been doing. For years I was thinking about, what product do I, what's the small business? What am I going to do? And then here we are, created a small business, right? So it's all available on Etsy, and that's where the shopping happens. I'll show you what that looks like. We're running a 25% sale right now, too. So if you want some really good birdseed, really good seed creations, let me know. I can hook you up. I just sent out a package to Illinois. That's my first customer in Illinois. And I sent a package to Minnesota, Edina, Minnesota. So really thankful about that. Got another package going down to Georgia, and I'm super happy to send that on its way. And I've got another order of donut stackers heading to Minneapolis. So there's different products here, variations on a theme. And you might be saying, well, what the heck is a donut stacker? Well, this is a donut stacker right here. I think it'll come out. And it's not, it's still frozen. Anyway, it's a round seed cake, a small seed cylinder. And I can put it on a special cylinder, a special bird feeder, and it's like a bunt cake or a donut. Think of a donut, right? Everybody loves donuts, including your birds. Your birdies love them too. So that's what that is. The metal comes off and everything. So that's just a mold that I use. So that's a donut stacker, and the birds love these things. Now, seed cakes, suet cakes. I'm doing suet cakes because it's getting colder and the birds need those healthy fats and the really good quality bird seed. There's no fillers in here. None of that sorghum or millet. Ugh, they don't like the millet. They just let it all fall on the ground and it creates weeds. We don't use that here. We use really good products. But then we have the suet cakes. This one actually, I don't know if you can see it, but it does say Tommy cake. It's a 4x4, fits in suet feeders. It's really good stuff. Peanut butter lard, black oil sunflower seeds, some oats, cranberries, raisins. I mean, peanuts, crushed peanuts, unsalted peanuts. The birds line up for these, and they love them. I've had three downy woodpeckers this summer, all lined up for this. One on the ground, 2 in the feeder, and they were just like, yes. Northern flickers, pileated woodpeckers, red-bellied woodpeckers, chickadees, warblers in the spring. All kinds of birds love this stuff, and it's been so much fun. It's a way to connect with people, right? It's another different way to connect. And, I talked a lot for 10 years. I've been talking about building community as I migrated from, moved 6 times in 5 years, right? It's a way to connect with people in a different way. This is a product that you're putting your life into, you're putting your expertise into, you've done the research, and you're working hard. And it's just another way to give to people and let them enjoy the same things that I have been enjoying. So, yes, Tommy Cakes. Good stuff. The name Tommy Cakes, I have to thank Greg Burns and Danielle Freeman for that. For Tommy Cakes, because they used to call me Tommy Cakes. And so I decided, you know what? Let's own that. I've done a couple shows with the Tommy Cakes character. Bada boom, bada bing, it's delicious. So I had to create a business because that's just how we roll here. So, yeah, good times. So there has been a lot of transition going on, kind of back to the small scale life. What I've decided to do is to really stop doing so many things and really kind of focus in on what I like to do. And so, homesteading is still a thing. We're doing it. We're kind of doing it by default, right? Because we have a little property here, dealing with firewood, shoreline stuff. Gardening is huge still. The wellness thing, I have found, I'm a different person than I was even 9 months ago, right? And I've had epiphanies and done a lot of soul searching and dropped some old habits and dropped some, weight and dropped some, some political positions and just changed. And this is going to be kind of the way forward where we're going to be slowing down a bit, right? Growing food. We're going to be growing flowers. We've got some great comfrey growing on the shoreline. Great comfrey is a homesteader's best friend. I don't have animals, but I have comfrey, and those roots go down so deep into the soil. And it was really funny because I had this comfrey growing on our shoreline, and it was just kind of sputtering along, just kind of getting its feet wet, so to speak, right? But the roots finally touched. I think it touched down to where the water table is, and bam, 11 plants just went crazy. And I got flowers. We had hummingbirds in them. That is exactly what we needed. And it's going to help control the weeds. It's also going to help bring in pollinators. It's also going to help animals that might have some digestive issues or some issues. They can eat the comfrey. It's not going to hurt them, and they're going to heal up. It's an amazing plant. And we've got that on our shoreline. We've got rhubarb, I think I have 5 rhubarb plants that is up on our property line that I put in place. I mean, how can you be in Wisconsin and not have rhubarb, right? I mean, that's just not heard of here. So, we still have elements of growing our own food. We also have growing herbs, right? And the gardening is huge. I kind of look back at my photos, and I really didn't document much of my gardening journey this year. And I did some really cool stuff. I did some new garden beds, and it worked out pretty good. It's too bad a hailstorm kind of crushed everything, but what are you going to do, right? So, other changes that we're doing, you'll notice I have a new logo. If you're new here, you won't notice because you didn't see it. But for 10 years, I had a different logo. It was just Small Scale Life, and it was in green and white and with a green border. And, I wanted something different. The river, the plants, the animals, right? The birds, and connect all that. So what's kind of cool is that I've got logos for each season, and we're really going to try to align with the seasons, our eating, the stuff we're doing, the logos. It's all going to be connected, right? So super cool. I'm super excited about that. I really love the old Small Scale Life logo. Oh, wait, I can show you what that looks like. Where did those go? It's really funny because I just got business cards this year. I had big plans. Now I can't find them. I'm going to show you what one looked like because I had one around here somewhere. Oh, man. What are you going to do? I had one around here. I could show you the old logo, but I don't know where it went. So it's out there. The truth is out there. But we're going to be talking about this kind of stuff, right? And it's, we had so many cool adventures and things that we've done this year that I could talk about, and we're going to, I think one of the other things is just, is that connection to nature, isn't it? And doing that just brings me a lot of joy. What else are we going to go? Where are we going to go? Kind of lost my train of thought there. The business card threw me, y'all. And I know there's a lot of people out there right now that are that are going through change too. There's been a lot of layoffs. There's people that are moving. These are really uncertain times, and just remember this is only a season. This is only a bit. Sometimes the water, the river, it's smooth and easy paddling, and you're just kind of flowing with it. Or even if you're in your tube or your floaty, you're just kind of going with the flow, and it's just totally cool and fine and good times. And then you come up to the rapids, and you got to work. You got to shoot the V, where you have 2 rocks and creates a V. You got to go shoot that V. You're going to end up on a rock or a branch, right? And then sometimes it gets really rough, and you have a waterfall or a drop, and you could try to go over that. Or you might need a beach and portage, and maybe have some friends help you pull your canoe or kayak or floaty down a path and get around that and not go down the waterfall. Speaking from experience, it's not fun. And that was a small drop. So, that's kind of the way life is. And we've got to learn how to go with the flow. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes not so much. And right now, I think us as a nation, we're going through some not so much fun times right now. I know I have, just with what's happening, and I've got one eye on what's happening in Washington D.C. today, or tonight and this week, and just hoping that things kind of change, things move forward, right? So that's kind of what it's all about too. So simplified the website a little bit, fixed up the adjusted the menu, just really kind of dialing it in on what we're doing. And I'm not going to, we can look back on the content that we made, and it was a good ride. It was fun, a lot of fun, and I had a good time doing a lot of it. And nothing is wasted. There's over 250 Small Scale Life podcast episodes of the Small Scale Life podcast. There's a lot of lessons learned, a lot of things that we've done, a lot of experiments we've tried, documented there, and they're all out there. They're on the YouTube channel. They're on your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, whatever. You can catch up with all 250 episodes. And I know there's some farmers, right? The back 80. I see y'all. Oh, my light just went out. I see y'all out there, and I know you're listening. So it's good stuff. I'm glad you're listening out there as you work on your farms. I think, nothing is wasted, even in our garden, right? We're taking out the old plants. We're taking them some to other places because we don't want to mix that in our compost, but the good plants and the leaves and grass, we're composting that in. And all those lessons that we've learned along the way, they're going to be used some way, somehow. And it's amazing how things kind of come back around. So, it's just going to be a slow and steady path forward for us. We're going to take that slow, steady path back to where we were. Because I know my listenership, my followers, there's a lot of people that don't know I'm even doing this again. So we're just going to start. So, the other thing I would tell you is something that we've learned from one of our guests, Mariah, the energy healer. She was intuitive energy healer. She was here, and we've done different events with her. And one thing we need to do is really slow down and think about what we're doing, reflect on where we've been, take a walk and just ask yourself, what are you doing? What are you holding on to that no longer serves us? And I was there. I was like, small scale life is done. I'm just done. And it's no longer serving me. But take a walk and think about it, or just take some time by some running water and think about what are you holding on to that no longer serves you. And then you're going to go through a little release ceremony where you write it down. Take a piece of paper, write those things down. You're going to be kind of just draining those things onto that piece of paper. And then you're going to let it go. So typically it's a burning ceremony where you burn the note, burn the thing. You could compost it, or you can drop it in the river. Dropping it in the river is a really powerful thing because that moving water, there's some energy there, and man, that just burning it or putting it in the river, there's some real powerful energies when you do that. Speaking from experience, usually I burn it, to be honest with you. I don't usually compost it because I just want it to burn it. Just like, let's get rid of this. The other thing you can do at the same time is maybe on the other side or another piece of paper, write the stuff down that you want to manifest. Think about the things that are good and you want to grow that, or you want to try this, or you're going to be successful at that. Manifest the successes too, and then burn that as well. So you're getting rid of the yuck and you're amplifying the good. And your brain is going to think about that good and get rid of that yuck. Okay, so this is a good burning ceremony. It's really powerful right around the full moon if you're into woo-woo stuff. So that's what we do around here. So the other thing is, recommit. And that's what we're doing right now is, right? Pick one thing, one little habit, one little thing, a podcast, build, you're going to pick that thing, or Julie's little business, pick that thing, pick that habit, pick that hobby, and start again. Reset, restart, right? And it's got to align with your values. Recommit to doing it and just start small. One little step, right? One straw revolution. It could be anything. Daily walk, journal, planting tomatoes, your gratitude practice, spending time in the nature, spending time in the water, near the water, fishing, something like that, right? And the big thing is, all these little things, the small changes, the small things lead to a bigger life, right? You're going to be building on that stuff. You're going to live well. You're going to love bigger, you know, and you're going to live with the seasons, and sometimes some things rise to the top, other things go down. Focus on those things and really knock them out of the park. And this is what we're doing here. We're starting again, starting all over again. So, a lot of woo-woo in this show for sure. Going forward, I'm going to add to the site. I've got to add Saturday's show. I've got to add this show. I've got to. I'm also going to provide a link to our new Substack account. So I talked about that on Saturday as well as Substack, and using that as a medium for an email list. And I've already got an article up there, so go check that out. It's on the Small Scale Life Substack. I'll put it in the show notes, I think, or definitely in the show notes, and I have a link here on Small Scale Life. Yeah, and if you need some Tommy cakes, let me know. Yeah, I would just really the season is slowing down, right? Harvest is over. We are entering that dark time of the year where everything slows down. I was just looking at the ice out on the river here, and it's starting to form, and the ice grows more and then it recedes, and so everything is just starting to slow down. We're going to slow down too. One thing that we do way too much is we live in eternal summer. We eat eternal summer with the foods that we can get from all over the world, when nothing, like think of a person in the 1800s to get a strawberry in the middle of December or January, right? It wasn't possible. Now we have it at 24/7, 365, right? So we need to, not that we don't want to eat strawberries, but we've gotten way out of alignment where it is eternal summer, go, 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 go all the time. This is a time where we slow down. We do more studying, more reading, time by the fire, time with our family and friends. The Nordic folks, they called it the heggy, right? Where it's chocolate and candles and savory foods and grounding vegetables and playing games and just being together. And that's kind of what I want to do here too. So we are approaching the slowdown period. The veil is thin. We're slowing down. And if you stop and you listen, you might hear that whisper on the wind, right? You never know. That was one cool thing about going back to Maiden Rock this week, is when I was at this little creek called Pine Creek. It's my favorite creek. It's just so beautiful there. It's like you're in this coulee in this valley, and it's like you could just imagine how it was, 150, 200 years ago, 10,000 years ago, right? It was just, it's down here in this valley, and you got this creek. It's a trout stream. If you go to the right and go up the valley on the right-hand side, it's a Wisconsin rustic road. You have to cross the creek, like literally drive through the creek 4 times, right? And there's no cell service back there. So if there's been some kind of weird flood and the road's gone, you're going to be stuck. So needless to say, I didn't do that. If you go to the left, you keep going up the coulee, up the valley, and take a left, go down the road a bit, you'll be at Driftless Oaks Farm, our farm. Again, if you go to the right, you're up the rustic road. And if you keep going down the road a bit, you'll end up at the Laura Ingalls Wilder's Pepin farmstead. So we were like 5 miles away from Laura Ingalls Wilder's homestead, from Little House in the Big Woods. And I imagine, because we had trees that were over 200, 250, 300 years old on our property, I can just imagine that Pa Ingalls and Ma Ingalls rode by one day, or Pa Ingalls walked by one day, and those trees were there, and they saw all that. It's just amazing. The Driftless is an amazing place. There's just old rock, old soil, laughing brooks, really old trees, right? So it's amazing. So when I was here, I didn't go to the left or right. I was standing right here watching the trout pop the top of the stream. And off in the distance, I heard two barred owls firing up, and here I am. Those are my peeps, owls. I love owls. So I started talking to them, and I got them fired up, and they were talking to me, and I was talking to them. It's just like, yeah, when I can get an owl to fire up, I know I'm in a special spot. So that was super cool. My favorite creek, my favorite birds, going and talking to them. It was awesome. And then driving back up the coulee, went by the old farm, and the young man who bought it is doing a great job. So proud of him. Good job. Good job, Bryce. You're doing great. And as I'm driving by, there's a dead deer on the side of the road, as we have here in Wisconsin this time of year. And our double C eagle was there, the County Road CC eagle. There's an huge eagle's nest down the road from the farm, and that eagle was standing right on that carcass, and he owned it. He was loving it, and it was nice to see him too. So got to see some old friends that I haven't seen in a while or heard from a while. It was nice. That's the one thing I'm surprised here. I don't hear eagles. I don't hear owls. I heard one once. And that's it. And I'm really surprised because we're right on this river and there are some backwater areas and trees. So I figured I would hear owls, but apparently not here. So, yeah, it was a good trip back. Really, it was time to rebrand. It was time to get back in the seat and behind the mic. It's been fun, and I get excited about it. I took a screenshot in the Saturday episode, and I send that over to Jules, and it's like, yeah, I haven't seen that smile in a long time. And it reminds me of the smile my son used to have, Danny used to have, as he's running his crazy ultra marathons. He had this look of confidence in this smile, and it's like, yeah, I know where he got that. So so join us as we move forward on this, right? We are doing a whole new thing here, and I'm glad you tuned in. I'm glad you're listening to this. If today's episode resonated with you, share it with a friend, leave a review, head over to Small Scale Life, join our Substack, join our community here on YouTube. Send me an email. That's fine. realsmallscalelife@gmail.com would be great. And, this podcast is all about living with intention and then finding beauty in the small moments around us, right? I've always said there's beauty all around us. You just need to look. And as I begin again with Small Scale Life, I hope you'll come with me. Go down river with me, right? We'll go around the bend. We'll look at gardens. We'll do all the gardening things. We'll have some river adventures. I'm really looking forward to that. This is 2026. We're going to get on the water, and Jules is all on board with that. So we're going to float on Perch Lake. We're going to go down some rivers, take the kayaks out, maybe have to get a paddleboard or two. We'll have to look at some paddleboards maybe, huh? Mm-hmm. So we're going to go along some rivers and have some adventures, and then we're going to just have a slower, more meaningful way of life. We've got some projects planned for the spring, what's always in the spring. So I hope you join us on this journey. So thank you, everyone, for joining us here on Small Scale Life and being part of our journey so far. And we'll be back again real soon. Get outside, see the northern lights. Oh, there we go. Breaking news. The House votes to reopen the government. Tommy Cakes can get paid. Hallelujah. But the Northern Lights are out right now, so go check that out. And thank you for tuning in. Remember to learn, do, grow, be a little better every day. And that, my friends, is a really good thing. So take care. We'll be back next Wednesday at 7. I might change it to 7:30 just to give a little more time, but 7 does seem to be a good number. Anyway, we'll be back next Wednesday, live streaming. I'll release a graphic and put an announcement out there, and also have some links to Substack, our new Substack, and away we go. So thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you real soon. Take care. As we close this episode of the Small Scale Life podcast, remember this: keep going, keep going. Keep going. It might seem like an impossible thing to achieve your goals, like starting a small business, losing that stubborn weight, tackling your debt, or becoming that person you always wanted to become. But it is achievable. It's achievable. You can do it. You need to put one step in front of the other. But you have to begin that journey by making a decision and taking that step forward. So, start. Take a deep breath and take that first step. You can do it. We're here to help. This is Tom from the Small Scale Life Podcast, reminding you to learn, do, grow, and be a little better every day. We'll be back real soon. Take care, everybody. You know I never see my plants look so good, growing tall and straight like they should. But I like it, and I know you like it too. Growing veggies for me and you. I've got to grow them, oh yes I do, 'cause baby we'll be growing veggies by the lake shore. Behind those grasses, wicking beds producing more. Starting seeds in the basement, growing plants on the floor, and baby, talk dirt to me. Woo woo! Come on, Jules, talk to me. Dee 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 dee. Woo woo woo. You never know what you're going to get on Small Scale Life. Bada boom, bada bing. It's delicious. Here we go. Let's go. Let's go. One more important note. Small Scale Life reminds you that we are not licensed doctors, therapists, healthcare professionals, or financial professionals. You should always consult a professional before starting any practice. All information shared on Small Scale Life or the Small Scale Life podcast are for informational and inspirational purposes. Results will always vary, and participation in any practice or activity is completely voluntary and at your own risk. That said, keep learning, doing, growing, and being a little better every day. You've got this.